Welcome to the Near Dark Podcast, where nerds come together to discuss the ins and outs of horror films. Tonight, we're down a man. He couldn't make it tonight, as someone had to keep watch for zombies. But that still leaves us with three of our survivors. I'm Tagger. Introduce yourself, fellas.
I'm Ogge.
I'm Josef.
And we wanna apologize for being late. This should have been out last week, but due to conflicting schedules, we couldn't pump it out. However, now that the boring shit's out the way, we can get to the exciting stuff you've all been waiting for. Dead Alive, a.k.a. Braindead. Braindead, written and directed by Lord of the Rings, Mr. Peter Jackson.
And here's the trailer.
And here's the trailer.
Putting in the trailer and...
On this picturesque block, in this manicured home, something evil, something terrifying, something horrifying is haunting Lionel. His mother.
I thought I told you to spray this house. The place is infested with vermin.
Although she was a little strict,
Look at this dust. It's an inch thick.
he never wished her any harm.
You look after me like...
Until
Your mother's dead, Lionel.
now, whatever Mom's got
Where's your mother?
has caught on with the neighbors.
She's been bitten! You know what that means?
You can pray.
I kick ass for the Lord.
You can plead. You can beg for mercy.
Help! Someone! Please!
But nothing you can do will stop it.
There's thousands of them!
Because how do you kill something that's already dead? Trimark Pictures presents a modern masterpiece of horror.
Your mother ate my dog!
Dead Alive.
Party's over.
Oh, okay. Before we get into the movie, let's talk about all our recently scenes. I'll go first. What I saw, was it yesterday or the day before Josef that we saw Emily?
Yesterday.
Oh yeah. Yesterday I saw Emily with Josef and his sister. I thought it was a really good movie. Like, and instead of like, it had the same concept as like Home Alone and all that, with the kids trying to fight off the evil, but instead of it like in the evil trying to break into the house or disrupt family dinner and all that shit, the parents unknowingly, well, I don't want to say unknowingly, but the parents basically like bring the babysitter into the house, but because they didn't check the background of the person, the babysitter ends up being like some crazy fucknut who lost her child and is trying to abduct the kid. And spoiler alert, even though I should have said at the beginning, she gets away. But all in all, it was a great film. I'd give it like maybe 7 or 8 babysitters out of 10. What about you guys? What have you recently seen?
I recently watched Ju-on. It's actually a Japanese horror. It was made for television. The
very first Ju-on.
Yeah,
Oh,
the one
okay.
that inspired The Grudge.
Yeah, all right.
it's actually a mini series. So you could say it's two short movies. They're both at about 1 hour and 10 or 50 minutes, and it actually creeped me out. Yeah. The first one, the first one is actually a lot scarier than the second one, but they're both good. And yeah, definitely check that out.
What are they about?
There's it starts a teacher starts to visit a house where a boy goes to school, and the boy hasn't been in school for quite some time, and then the teacher realizes that the boy's mother is someone he knew from way back into school, and then a lot of people connected to the teacher starts going missing, and actually Ju-on, it's a Japanese curse that you in the folklore that you can cast on someone if you have a grudge on them. It's basically a curse.
A grudge.
Yeah.
Well, that's. I've never seen the original Ju-on. I've seen the American remake, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But I've heard a couple of the Ju-on movies are supposed to be pretty scary and creepy and exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right.
It's shot in a similar way. It reminds a bit of like a home camera, but with multiple angles.
What did you say?
Like a found footage camera, sort of.
Okay.
A very cheap.
Oh.
But it's not a found footage film. There's multiple angles and everything.
Oh, okay.
But it will give you that sort of found footage feel. Kind of.
Okay. Well, that actually sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Have you watched anything other than that?
Yeah. Virus. It's sort of like an action horror. It's about a crew who lands on a Russian research boat, and there's some alien life on it that consider the humans as a virus.
Is that the Jamie Lee Curtis movie? Or am I thinking about something?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I haven't watched it, so don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Okay.
I got it on DVD. I've owned it for like 1.5 years or something. But I've never watched it, so don't spoil it. But what do you think about that movie?
I really liked it, and it kind of gave me like Aliens feel, like Alien 2.
Yeah, Aliens.
Yeah.
Alien 2 is a completely other movie or different movie. Alien 2 on Earth is an Italian rip-off movie of Alien, and it's terrible. And I'm gonna pick it for the podcast later down the line.
You're a monster.
I am. Anything more?
No, that's all I recently seen.
Okay. Well, I watched. Well, not a shitload of it, but I watched a couple of things since we last recorded. A couple of movies I've watched with you, Tagger, as well, like Emily, and I rewatched Urban Legend, Grave Encounters, and we saw Escape from Tomorrow. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Tagger?
Yeah, I'll touch on that a little bit. I think what they were trying to go for was like, I think the synopsis of it was like this guy is going on his trip to Disneyland, and at the beginning of the movie he gets a call saying he was fired from his job. So it's like I guess the last vacation they take together for a while, but I think it was supposed to be like a drug trip type of movie where he contracts a virus, which I'll be honest, I forgot the name of, but he's supposed to hallucinate and stuff, and the hallucinations were pretty good for the most part.
Yeah.
Up until like maybe the end-ish of the movie.
Yeah.
It was just like really retarded. No offense to people who are watching who may be mentally handicapped.
To be honest, I don't know what I thought about it. To be honest, I didn't like it, but I guess it was because I didn't understand it. You had to explain the entire movie when it was finished. So
I tried to enjoy it, but it was even for me. It felt like it was trying too hard to be something it wasn't.
Yeah.
Or at least something they couldn't really aspire to be. But I'd give it like maybe 3 or 4 Disneylands out of 10. It had a good build up, but the execution or whatever the end part of the ride was just really awful.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. If I need to give it a oh god, it's almost 5 a.m. here, so I'm getting really tired. Well, I would give it like 2 out of 10 or something. But, well, I didn't understand the entire movie, so I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I think the movie would have been better if they cut out like all the subplots they had going on with it. Just focused on the guy having hallucinations and shit.
Yeah.
Because I went in thinking it was going to be like, oh, this guy's going to be attacked by people in like Disneyland costumes and shit.
Yeah, or animatronics.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking awesome. But yeah, didn't enjoy that one.
Oh yeah, especially with the release date of it. I think it came out like 2011 or something, and that was probably around the time that Five Nights at Freddy's and shit was doing well. So it would have been a great time to try and like bank off of that.
Yeah. Anyway, continuing on, I rewatched the third CGI Resident Evil movie, Vendetta, as well. Won't be talking about that one. And I rewatched Class of 1999. That's an action movie, but it's categorized as a horror movie for some reason. It's great. And I watched The Strangers and Don't Be Afraid of the Dark remake from 2010 by Guillermo del Toro with you, Tagger. We will probably talk about that one later on. And I watched another mindfuck movie called Barbarian Sound Studio with Toby Jones.
Oh yeah, I think you told me about that one.
Yeah, well, it basically is about a sound engineer who gets a job on a Italian horror movie during the 1970s, and well, it's basically I don't know. There are basically nothing that happens in the entire movie. It's just him reading letters from his mother, and well, the whole point with the movie, I had to read up on it after I finished it, and some theories about the movie is that Toby Jones's character is either turning insane or the movie becomes reality, or like gets twisted up with reality or something. It didn't really make any sense. It sucked. And after that I watched a newer movie called Haunter with I forgot her name. Abigail Breslin, I think her name is. Haunter is about, well, it's basically a Groundhog Day in a haunted house movie, but they turned the haunted house movie concept and, well, they turned it around 180 degrees. So you're not following the living. Abigail Breslin and her family has died, and each and every day she goes to sleep, and, well, it's Groundhog Day in a haunted house movie, basically. And I liked it. I liked the whole Groundhog Day theme in horror movies. It's starting to get pretty stale, but I don't know. I liked it. Got some great acting, and the whole mystery thing of the movie was pretty good as well, and interesting, and well, big thumb up from me. I know someone who hates it, but that's another story. And the last thing I watched, well, it's not really a horror movie, it's more of a thriller with Richard Gere. It's basically, they're taking a real life incident from the 60s and turn it into a 2-hour episode of the X-Files, basically. And it's called The Mothman Prophecies, and are based on the novel by the same title. And
I've heard of that movie, but I've never actually sat down and watched it.
Yeah, it was a friend who recommended it, and she wanted to watch it, so we watched it. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I won't even try to explain the story, because if you're gonna explain the story, you basically need to spoil half of the movie, and I'm not gonna do that. It's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. And the last thing I want to mention is Emily. I just want to put in my thoughts about it. I thought it was pretty mediocre, to be honest. I've seen the concept a dozen of times before, and I, well, I didn't like how they didn't even try to hide who what was it she called, Sarah Bollag,
Yeah.
her character, who she was. So, but well, it's an okay watch, but I don't think I'm gonna rewatch it anytime soon. And that's pretty much it, I guess.
All right. Oh, I have one more movie I wanted to add to my recently seen, and that was The Good Neighbor. It's listed as a horror movie, but I'd say it's more of like a drama thriller, kinda.
Okay.
Basically, the premise is these two boys are conducting a experiment, so they rig up this old man's house with like cameras and shit to try and spook him. And during the whole process, it cuts back and forth between between their experiment being processed and present day, which is them in court. And the whole time you have no idea uh, what's really going on with this old man until like maybe halfway or so through, and I'll just spoil it. He basically ends up thinking that his dead wife is haunting him, and the boys end up going, well, not going to jail, but getting like 10 years probation or something, as well as like a few hundred hours of community service for basically getting a man to kill himself.
Wow.
Yeah.
But what was it called?
The Good Neighbor.
The Good Neighbor. Okay.
But that ends it for my recently seen.
No.
And I
No.
and I the film follows Lionel, a village dweeb living with his mother Vera in a Victorian mansion, who constantly gets into trouble for his relationship with the Spanish shopkeeper's daughter Paquita. When a rabbit monkey bites Vera, she gradually converts the residents of Newtown into a zombie horde. Since its release, Braindead was received acclaim from critics, with many filmmakers and critics calling it the goriest fright film of all time in cinematic history. Although it was a financial bomb, it's since gained a cult following after Jackson's success with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Is there anything you guys want to add to this? Like, anything that you guys thought was relatively cool or interesting in the film?
Well, we could talk about that in the background, but what did you think about the movie, Tagger?
I thought it was. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, but the costumes and the makeup and stuff they did for the monsters was freaking exceptional. Like, what was the I always forget her name. What was the name of the nerdy chick with glasses who was in the final scene? Like a monster inside of her.
Rita, I think.
Yeah. I can't remember her name, but yeah, I think it was Rita.
Mm.
The the makeup they did for her to have like a face trying to like burst out of her face was it's fucking awesome. Am I forgetting anything, or should we go to background? I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you should ask what me and Ogge thinks about the movie. This is our one-man podcast.
Yeah.
Well, what did you guys think about the movie?
I love it. I think it's hilarious. Like, I think my favorite scene of the whole movie is when he's in the park with that zombie kid. Yeah, that just cracks me up all the time.
The zombie kid is called something. I wrote it down here. Selwyn is his name.
Yeah, Selwyn. Yeah. I mean, like the best part about the movie is its humor. I think.
Yeah, it's over the top and it's just brain dead.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah. The title of the movie says it all.
Yeah. It's. I actually think it's the bloodiest movie ever made. It's up there.
Yeah, I will talk about that in the background, but continue.
Oh yeah, and well, of course, the makeup is really good in it.
Practical effects.
Yeah, it actually becomes disgusting at a lot of points.
Oh, what about you, Josef? What did you think about the movie?
Oh well, I've always been a huge fan of this movie and Peter Jackson's two other splatter / dark comedies, Bad Taste and Meet the Feebles. And I think I saw this movie for the first time when I was 8 years old. I had no clue what kind of movie it was when I rented it. But I remember that I loved this movie, and about a year later, I didn't remember what the title of the movie was, but I was talking to a classmate of mine, and he told me that there was a movie called Braindead, and I was like, no way. And about a year later after that, I actually found Bad Taste, Meet the Feebles, and Braindead on the Swedish VHS releases. And I've been a fan since then. I think it's hilarious, and I think it's fucking disgusting at points, like the custard scene when Lionel and his mother is eating custard with the I can't remember
The WWLW or something.
yeah, exactly. And her ear drops into the custard, and she eats it. It makes my stomach turn inside out each time. So yeah, Braindead has always been a favorite movie of mine for some odd reason. Excuse me. So What character are your favorite in the movie?
I don't recall really having a favorite, but I know for a fact until probably like the last couple of scenes, Akita was annoying as fuck. I wanted to kill her myself. Oh my god, why didn't you call? Oh my god, where were you? I went to your house. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like either sneak into his house and see what he's really up to, or shut up and move on. Christ. What about you two? Did you have any favorites as far as characters go?
Do you want to go first, Ogge?
Now you can go first.
Oh, okay. I got two favorite characters in this movie, to be honest. The first one is the priest, Father Magruder. Just the quote, "I kick ass for the Lord," it makes me bust out in laughter. It's just, I love that line. It's probably one of the best lines in the entire movie. And the second character I love in this movie is Uncle Les, the big fat dude with hots for Paquita. Like at the end, just before he gets killed, there's an entire army of zombies breaking through the wall, and what the fuck was the quote? Just step right up, you creepy bastards, or something like that. And he starts to chop them up like a fucking maniac, and I love that scene as well. But I can agree with you, Tagger. The Paquita gets pretty fucking annoying at the start of the movie, but just when the massacre starts, I think she steps up her game, so to speak. Yeah. What about you, Ogge?
Well, it's easily Selvin and the priest. Every scene Selvin is in makes me laugh.
I kick ass for the Lord.
Yeah.
Are there any scenes you want to discuss?
I think the scene that I really liked was the one near the end where what's his face? Lionel takes a freaking lawnmower to all the fucking zombies.
Yeah, that scene is brilliant. But the version we saw, Tagger, it was the Dead Alive. No, yeah. Wait, I had to check.
No, the one you and your sister saw was Dead Alive.
Yeah.
The one you're looking for is Braindead.
Yeah. I actually rewatched the fucking movie the day after, but I watched the Braindead cut of the movie. The version we saw was let me see here, I got it written down here. It was the 97-minute cut of the movie, which is the US cut under the Dead Alive title. And according to Peter Jackson, that's his preferred cut of the film. But the original cut, Braindead, is 104 minutes, and there are a R-rated cut of Dead Alive as well, which are 85 minutes. So, yeah. The massacre scene are... Well, there are just frames and like a couple seconds here and there that aren't in the Dead Alive cut of the movie. You never get to see what happened to the nurse and the priest zombies in the Dead Alive version, but you get to see what happened to them in the Braindead cut of the version of the movie. They start to screw during the massacre.
Speaking of the nurse, that's something that still like boggles my fucking mind. Like his mother Vera just broke the nurse's neck, and all of a sudden she's a zombie. Like how does that?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, when I rewatched this movie this time, I started to draw up. Well, I think it's called parallels to the return of the Living Dead movies. Like everything that has been dead in those movies can be resurrected, and it really doesn't make any sense that everything that are dead in those movies just needs to be in contact with like the gas. And well, my point is that Vera was a zombie, and she came in contact with a nurse by like putting her fingers into the nurse's face, and that was it. Well, that's my theory. But at the same time, the whole fucking movie doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So
maybe that's my fault. Maybe I was just trying too hard to make sense of something that
you were overthinking it.
Yes.
Yeah. Could also be something similar of like Walking Dead, that they all are already infected when they die.
True.
That theory doesn't really make any sense either, because the zombie virus came from a rat ape who bit Vera, who got really, really, really sick and died because of the bite. It wasn't like in The Walking Dead that if you die, you come back.
Yeah. But I guess it could still be like some kind of airborne virus, maybe.
I don't know about that.
We're probably overthinking it.
Yeah, I'm probably.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Led from one thing to another.
I think we were just discussing scenes.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. I'm checking my notes here. You said your favorite scene in the entire movie was the park scene, right, Ogge?
Yeah.
Well, that's one of my favorite scenes as well. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. Like the fact that it's so obvious that it's a doll makes it even more fun to watch.
Yeah. And the women in the park is like, Jesus.
What is he doing? And he's grabbing the kid by the fetus, smashing it.
And the bomb is like, yeah.
Yeah.
There are, well, there are 2 scenes in the Braindead cut that aren't in the Dead Alive cut, by the way. There's like a guy with glasses who gets attacked by the greaser zombie Void. And in the first scene, he says, "I take it back. I'm sorry I called Nabokov a pedophile." And Lionel comes up behind Void and, well, he shoves down a Jack Daniels whiskey bottle down his throat. And later on, the same guy gets chased by two zombies, and he managed to get away from them. And just before he gets attacked, he says, "Ha! Some of my best friends are pedophiles." Well, those 2 quotes cracked me up, to be honest.
Yeah.
Another good quote I've written down here is from Uncle Les. "There's no place for hysterical women in my unit." And much earlier in the movie, when Lionel has collected all of the zombies in one room and they are eating, I think it's custard. Uncle Les comes by, and just before he what the fuck is it called? Just before he leaves, he says this quote: So you found your dad's old stag movies, eh? Is that the one with the donkey and the chambermaid?" I love that quote as well.
Yeah.
Is there anything more to say?
Well, I found this one tidbit interesting when I was looking through the Wikipedia. Apparently the movie contracted some kind of lawsuit with it'd be better if I explain it and try and like sum it up.
Yeah.
In Bradley versus Wingnut Films Ltd, whatever the hell that means, it was alleged that Braindead had infringed the privacy of the plaintiffs by containing pictures of the plaintiff's family tombstone. And after reviewing the New Zealand judicial authorities on privacy, Gallon J. stated, "The present situation in New Zealand is that there are 3 strong statements in the High Court in favor of the existence of such a tort in this country, and acceptance by the Court of Appeals that the concept is the least arguable." And this case became one of the series of cases which contributed to the introduction of tort invasions of privacy in New Zealand. And now I'm gonna Google what the hell tort means. It's apparently a common law jurisdiction and a civil wrong that causes someone else to suffer loss or harm resulting in legal liability. Thank you, Wikipedia. That makes everything so much more understandable. I guess it's just like the person who caused the harm of someone else isn't legally bound to whoever suffers the loss. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever seen any other film that contracted a lawsuit before.
Yeah, I read something about that, but I didn't pick it up as a background thing. But yeah, it's pretty interesting, to be honest.
Yeah. Did you know that rat? The rat is from Skull Island. and it's the same island King Kong is from.
Yeah. The introduction of the movie is a nod to the 1933 classic King Kong, which Peter Jackson is a huge fan of, and well, I guess that's why he remade it back in 2005.
Yeah,
I think
it's actually pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen it for years, but I remember enjoying it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have anything more to add to the background?
Imagine if King Kong got infected.
I don't think I have anything else to add as far as background goes.
Yeah, me neither.
Mm-hmm. I got a couple of things here. Let's see. The budget was $3 million. The box office gross in the USA, I don't know worldwide, but in the USA it was $242,623. Peter Jackson appears in a small cameo role in this movie as the Undertaker's assistant. He's in a scene like for 6-7 seconds or something. Peter Descent composed the music, and he composed the music for Peter Jackson's Meet the Feebles and Heavenly Creatures as well. The location used for the film's opening scene, where the explorer is retrieving the rat monkey, was used again by Jackson in The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, when Aragorn and his companions journey to the paths of the dead.
Excuse me. Sorry.
It's okay. And let's see. The movie is said to be the bloodiest of all time, measured in amount of film blood used during the production, with 300 liters of fake blood being used in the last part of the movie. And the rental in Sweden and probably other countries as well came with a supplement of vomit bags. I think they handed out vomit bags during the cinema release as well. Here, at least here in Sweden, I think they handed out vomit bags during the cinema release of Bad Tastes as well. I think. I'm pretty sure about it. That was the background I got anyway. You covered some of it as well, so now what?
So I think since we've got everything else covered, I believe this is when we would announce our next movie and sign off.
Yeah.
And the next movie.
Well,
the next movie
wait. We'll just edit everything together. So, what will be our next pick? Okay.
Our next pick is gonna be The Evil Dead from '81.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how we should end these podcasts. To be honest.
Wait, is Evil Dead's the one with the Nomicon, right?
The Necronomicon, yeah. The Sam Raimi movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I finally got a chance to see that. I was happy. I loved it.
Haven't you seen it
Yeah.
before?
I think I've seen like bits and pieces as far as the
Ooh.
movie goes, but I think it was a few months ago I finally got a chance to see it. But we're not gonna try and make this a twofer.
A twofer?
Yeah, I feel like if I get into it, we're probably gonna end up making this like 2 separate podcasts in one day, and I don't know if anybody wants to do that. Like we'll end up like running over Braindead and putting Evil Dead in there as well. We'll call it a night for the podcast, possibly, unless anybody had anything else to add.
No, I'm good.
I'm good too.
All right. And well, just for good measure, let's reiterate what the next movie's going to be.
The Evil Dead, the original.
By Sam Raimi,
Yeah.
starring Bruce Campbell.
Oh yeah. From 82.
81, I think.
We'll debate the year in the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty then.
Right.
Good night, everybody. Say good night, fellas.
Bye.
Alright.